draw and I actually stumbled on this is Chatham. I actually stumbled on something that was really interesting. So here's a really massive draw. So they have a $93 million endowment starting in 2022, fiscal year 23. And they have a normal draw here of 4.3, but they took this one-time extra draw of almost 15 million. So really they took what, like $19 million off of a $93 million endowment. That's a huge, huge draw, unsustainable. So they start out the next year at 79 million and they take an 8 million draw on a $79 million endowment. Again, way too high. It's like 11%,
Yeah.
10.5%. Um, okay, so they also were able to convince this donor to release 6 million to get over here. So the reason they had to do this, you can see really clearly, they only had 2 million left in unrestricted endowment assets. So there's no way you can draw 8.5 unless you have a miracle year in terms of returns. So they had to basically approach a donor to get some of this money released. So they could do this draw. You can't just draw the restricted money. At least there's laws restricting how much you can pull out of here. It also looks like the board moves some money from restricted to unrestricted, and that's interesting.
There's no way to know if they move those funds from designated to unrestricted. There's no way to know, right?
There's no way to know. I
Yeah.
guess in the board minutes would know.
Okay.
Is that what you're
Okay.
talking about? So there must have been. Honestly, because so this is donor restricted money, not board restricted. So
Right.
all of the like quasi endowment stuff will be unrestricted. So there might have been some other negotiation here to get this unrestricted. I'm not sure what that would have been all about, to be honest. But they this is well documented. This transfer of 6 million. I'll show you that. Um, and I kind of stumbled on something else that may actually be even more important when I was investigating what happened here. So this is the okay. Okay, so there's like board members that are doing this. Okay, so this is interesting. So I found this. So they had a board member who was the donor approve the release from the endowment of 6 million. Okay, so
Interesting.
that's that money we just talked about. But then I
Yeah.
was curious, I was looking at these others and I noticed this line. There's also a board member that owns an entity that has a $3.5 million line of credit with the university. So at first I was thinking this must be a bank that's giving a line of credit to the university that's owned by a board member, which is a huge red flag. For me personally, in my opinion, this should never happen. Turns out it's not a bank. This is the owner of Parkhurst Food Service. All right, which is the university's biggest vendor. They have the
Huh.
$3.2 million draw or dollar contracts, and um, also giving a line of credit. So it's this loan right here. So Parkhurst is the food service vendor, and then they also issued a line of credit to the university. And Parkhurst is owned by one of the board members at Chatham. Very much against this if I worked at this school, or there's no reason to do this. Okay. Zero reason to do this. They have 27 other board members. There's no reason to have a board member that is also doing self contracting to the university. It's completely a conflict of interest, and most schools just would not even deal with this. And I think that they shouldn't deal with this either.